Hello, welcome to another Friday interview at Neptune. Today we have Ashton joining us. So we have two team members. We have Jose and we have Andy Green. And we also have two Neptune associates joining us as well. We have Mari and Rene.
Hi.
Hello, hello.
Mari is smoking the Ashland Symmetry. We got Rene smoking the new Edición Especial from La Aroma de Cuba. And in a little bit, we'll start talking about those sticks. But first, we're going to get started with our Ashton peeps. So, Jose, what do you do over at Ashton?
Well, that is definitely something that encompasses a lot of different activities. I mean, from just always talking about the brand and reaching out to all of our retailers and continuing to keep the lines of communication between the company back in Philadelphia with the eastern coast of Florida, where I manage the territory. So I keep the open lines of communication between the company and the retailers. I also help to promote the brand with the consumers. We run several events. Of course, with the pandemic right now, we're doing the social distancing, and we're definitely adhering and working within those guidelines. But traditionally we would run events where people can come out and taste the cigars, and just promoting the brand. I definitely work in sales, but more than anything else, it's more about managing and growing the brand.
Nice.
That's what I do.
Nice. So a lot of sales, a lot of marketing, a lot of networking as well.
Yes, definitely.
And Andy, what do you do over at Ashton?
Sales number one, Jose. My current position with Ashton is as vice president of sales. Roxana, in my duties, that's as Jose stated, there's a lot of different duties here as we work for a small company, but primarily my responsibilities are in management of our outside as well as our in-house sales team, marketing, promotion, in step with our ownership, obviously retailer relationship and management, as Jose stressed. Those are all primary things that fall under my purview, as well as some other things that come up from time to time.
Nice. So kind of like managing what Jose does. No, I'm playing.
Yes.
He's like, yes, well, no.
Yeah.
So all right, guys.
Jose's unmanageable. I can't just say that. I try my best. Let's just say that.
I mean, I see he's making the pandemic look really good right now. He's like, yeah, we're socially distancing. I'm like, man, you're on a boat. That looks like a beautiful day. We all wish we were there.
I will point out that I can't give Jose too much trouble for being on a boat, because he technically took his afternoon off today. So he is actually on his own time today. So I'm just happy that he's wearing a collared shirt.
Maybe he's wearing flip-flops. Don't give too much credit. No, I'm playing Jose.
It's okay.
No, he loves Ashton, definitely. And you know what's crazy? I remember when I first met Jose, it was, I think, the IPCPR of 2018 at the Ashton event. And that was my first time smoking La Aroma de Cuba. And that was the first cigar that I ever loved. And I knew this because I smoked it down to the band and actually took the band off and kept smoking. And I was like, this is the first time I've ever had to do this. And ever since then, La Aroma de Cuba has been one of my favorites, like top 5, and nothing can knock it down.
So 2018 would have been the second year, Jose, you can remind me, that would have been the second year that we did our customer dinner at the venue at the SLS, where it was in the old concert facility with the high. That was such an awesome venue. Really, really cool place.
Good that's one of my favorite
cigars and companionship.
And the food was great. Everything was fantastic. That was like my first introduction to Ashton, and ever since then I'm like, Ashton is fantastic.
I have to
Hard
add.
work. We appreciate that. Jose Andres did the work.
I have to add. That's a beautiful way to be introduced to me, to Ashton, because it kind of lays out exactly what Ashton's all about. It's about quality. It's about elevating the experience. And as you probably experienced, that our dinners are just amazing and great,
It was
in a
great.
great way to pair your. Yep.
Yeah, it was all very elegant too. So I've always regarded Ashton as like a very elegant brand as well.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
No
Thank you,
problem. How long has Ashton been around?
Andy, would you like to?
Ashton Ashton as a brand was started in 1985. You know, our ownership, the Levin family, has been in the retail business since the 50s. And so in 1985, Robbie Levin, our president, CEO, and owner, decided to start Ashton. You know, one of the brands that I'm sure that you are very well acquainted with was Ashton Classic. And you know, obviously from that standpoint, from that time frame, we branched out. The Fuente started producing the product in sometime late 88, early 89. San Cristobal, 2007. Aroma de Cuba has been in existence since 2002. So, you know, from a brand company standpoint, outside sales, it started out for Robbie as being a brand in 1985. I wouldn't necessarily call it a store brand because he always meant for it to be in distribution, but it was a retail brand that now we distribute, obviously, in every state in the U.S. as well as 65 countries worldwide. So, what is this? How many years is that now? We're in. Help me out, Jose, with the math. 40 or 41st years. That sound about right?
85. Yeah, 36 years.
Thank you.
Wow.
We don't have qualifications here, obviously internally. So thanks for the help, Jose.
It's okay. I mean, don't worry. I'm not great at math. Today, Luz was telling me I need to sharpen up my math skills because every time I see numbers, I freak out. So when you were asking how many years, I was like, 85 to 95. To
Right. See, listen, this is being recorded. So if my daughters view this later, they're going to say, "See, Dad, we knew you couldn't help us with our math homework. It's terrible." Anyway.
I love it. And I wanted to ask also, so Ashton is associated with two major cigar families, one in the Dominican Republic and the other in Nicaragua. And I mean Ashton as far as like the distribution company itself rather than just the brand. So what can you tell me about these two like partnerships that you guys have going on with the Fuentes and the Garcias?
Yeah, I mean, you know, so certainly one of the things that is a hallmark of what we view our branding and our position in the marketplace, and you know, you alluded to it, Jose obviously alluded to it, is we're always interested in providing the highest quality product at a fair market value, and then certainly delivering on that consistently so that the consumer's experience is very high quality every time they come back to the product, right? It's about delivering every time over and over and over. And, you know, we're obviously extremely blessed. We're not a manufacturer. We're a manufacturer and distributor. We're a distributor and marketer of our products in the marketplace. And we are extremely blessed to, you know, be partnered with what we consider the two best manufacturers in the cigar industry that certainly share a vision, which is the highest quality product and delivering on the highest level of consumer experience, again, over and over and over. So the first part is being blessed to be partnered with the best. And then as an addition to that, they know how to make cigars. But on top of that, they know the importance of making sure that quality and consistency and delivering that to the consumer is of the utmost. So that's that. That's 85 again. Late 80s, we started working with the Fuentes, and then the Garcias. The first project we collaborated on was 2007, and they're both fantastic partnerships that continue to blossom. I don't know,
Which
Jose,
one
if you
was
have
the
anything to add on that.
2007? Well, in 2007, which one was that you guys started, La Aroma de Cuba?
That would be the original San Cristobal.
Oh, very
The
cool.
original San Cristobal was the first collaboration between Ashton and the Garcias. At that time, La Aroma de Cuba was still being produced in Honduras. The Garcias began producing our flagship Nicaraguan La Aroma de Cuba. Jose, refresh my memory, probably in 2009 was when it came over to Nicaragua.
I would definitely say that 2009 is what I remember. I surprised myself because when I started,
we're old, Roxy. Old. Time flies by.
I started in 2012, and for me, it was easy to keep track of these dates. Now in 2021, I look back and I'm like, is it really that many years have gone by? But yes, 2009 was when we started our relationship with My Father Cigars, and boy, am I grateful that they were able to do that, because I agree with that. The two greatest manufacturers in the world right now are making our cigars, and we get to go out and share them with everybody. So it's just exciting to always share them. We know that it's good quality, it's a great experience, and that at least I'm proud of.
That's true. And these are also factories that are also so well regarded in general. So many people love all of the Pepin Garcia cigars, and so many people love Fuente, of course. That's like a house, what is that, like house brand name or something at this point? Like everyone smokes Fuente, and the people that smoke Fuente continue to smoke Fuente all their life. And they never switch their mind. They're like, nope, Fuente, Fuente, Fuente. So it's great to be able to be like, oh, you like Fuente? Well, he makes some cigars for us. Or, oh, you like Pepin Garcia? Well, he makes some cigars for us too.
Yeah, well, we certainly, having the ability in the marketplace, because the companies don't interact, other than the manufacturing side of it. But it certainly is, what it stands to is a recognition for the consumer of quality, because they associate one with the other. The way that we approach the marketplace, the way we interact with the consumer, with the retailer, might be different. And obviously all of our blends are different and unique, but it's all quality. It's all based on that very important principle, which is delivering the best experience. So
that's true. That is true. And I wanted to ask you as well, considering that you guys switched before 2009 from Honduras to Nicaragua. Personally, have you guys smoked the La Aroma de Cuba that was from Honduras before?
I've smoked a whole hell of a lot of them.
And which one did you prefer?
Before.
Honduras made or Nicaragua made?
I don't think there's any question. I mean, first of all, that's a great question, because I don't get asked that question a whole lot. When we transitioned that brand over in 2009 from Honduras to Nicaragua, we had a significant quantity of sales. And, I'm not certain that a lot of companies would have taken the chance when you have a known commodity. But we were so confident in the Garcia's ability to not only deliver, but deliver a far greater product and experience for the consumer. And so therefore it was really unquestioned. And, as Jose said, La Aroma de Cuba has always been known as a value-based brand. And so when you already had a known commodity in the marketplace with La Aroma de Cuba from 2002 until 2009, and you can upgrade the quality, you can upgrade the tobacco, you can upgrade the partnership, you can upgrade the imagery, you can upgrade all of those things, but not upgrade the price, not upgrade the ability for the consumer to grab that product. This year is our number 3 selling product in our portfolio. So when you ask what is my preference, I'm not even, taste is not even, there is absolutely no comparison between the two. But when you talk about the proof being in the pudding, the proof in the pudding is that the consumers, the people hopefully that are watching this, love it. They smoke it over and over and over. They're the ones that are enjoying it. They're the ones that are proving that when the Levins said, you know what, we can do better. We've got the manufacturer, we've got the Garcias, we've got the partnership, and we can take this way up to the next level. This is unquestioned. I didn't answer your question really there at all.
No, I mean, you kind of did.
some-
Well, I mean, as far as taste, as far as something that you personally like, did you feel a big difference after changing where, the origin or where it was being manufactured? Because I mean, as far as proof is in the pudding, you see that now the sales have like ramped up a lot more. It's the number 3 selling cigar in your portfolio. So without a shadow of a doubt, Nicaragua would win. But as far as taste and what you prefer, did they taste identical, or were there different notes with more, like while being manufactured in Nicaragua as opposed to Honduras?
No similarities in terms of the characteristics. Completely different products.
So the blend was different before.
Yes.
It was made in an entirely different factory by an entirely different manufacturer. One was Honduras, now it's Nicaraguan with a Connecticut grown broadleaf that's naturally fermented. Two completely different. They're not even the same product from when the transition occurred.
Okay, I understand now. Yeah, I just thought like, well, maybe it's the same blend, but like being manufactured in Honduras for some reason. I know that what I really love about this cigar, about La Aroma de Cuba in particular, is that it's like bold, it's spicy, and I know that the Nicaraguan tobacco helps a lot with those tastes, and also in the Symmetry line as well. It's very spicy. I remember when I first tried Symmetry, I was like, whoa, what's this? This is really cool.
Well, you know what makes the Symmetry is unique for a few different reasons. One of the most important is that cigar was in concept for about 10 years before we were able to bring it to the marketplace. And Jose and I were actually talking a little bit earlier today about, I know that he sent you a follow-up email before about, talking about EE and talking about Symmetry and whatnot and what it represents. We're not the company that has something new every single year. Again, what we try to accomplish is having brands on the marketplace that the consumer can enjoy, high quality, fair market value, and deliver on that quality over and over and over. Therefore, when we put a new product into the marketplace, it's something that not only we feel like the consumer is going to enjoy, but they can stand the test of time. When that vision goes out there, we want it to be something that the consumer can grab, something that they can be interested in, not just today, but for the long term. So when you talk about Symmetry, Symmetry was the first Ashton cigar to come out in 10 years. And what makes it even more unique from what you pointed out there is if the average Ashton consumer picked up a Symmetry, if they like classic cabinet, aged Maduro, even VSG, and they picked up a Symmetry, it's not like every other Ashton. For one, it's the first Ashton product ever produced to have Nicaraguan tobacco in the filler. So the Fuentes use tobacco in the filler from their farms in the DR, as well as in Nicaragua. So it's a completely different experience, a completely different consumer for us in our typical portfolio, which is what's so fantastic about it. Is if somebody that loves Ashton, it's just another opportunity to try something that's within what is already an extremely diverse portfolio. And then for somebody that might look at Ashton and go, it's not my cup of tea. It's too mild because maybe they associate it with classic, or VSG is too strong for me. Symmetry gives them something that maybe they've never had the opportunity in our brand before.
That's true.
Jose,
and it does also.
I promised Jose I wouldn't do all the talking this morning, so I apologize, Jose.
Jose is chilling on a boat. He's like, go ahead, Andy.
Whatever.
I have to say, I'm chilling. I'm enjoying my cigar. I'm actually smoking the EE, the Edición Especial, which is it's smoking amazing out here, guys. I think everything is helping the ambiance. But I have to agree with Andy. I think I think one of the biggest thing that I like to share with people is that what makes the Symmetry unique is everything that he said. It was in the makings for 5 years. It does have the two country blend, so that's unique. You don't, at least right now, I don't know of any other cigar right now that people are really gravitating to that has a two country blend, and it just, maybe I'm speaking out of turn. I'm sure somebody will send me an Instagram message or something telling me how wrong I am. But for me, the Symmetry is the only one that exists right now, and it's just a wonderful cigar to smoke.
It's really cool that you guys said that, because a lot of companies do focus on just releasing as much as they can for the year. And it's like, there's new cigar, this new cigar, this new cigar. And it's hard to kind of like, keep all of these, keep track of all of the new releases. And with Ashton, it's one of those things where you don't release a new cigar every year. You don't even release a new cigar every 2 to 3 years. The last cigars that came out were which ones that you said, the Symmetry and the Aroma de Cuba. So it is about kind of like testing the EE, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
The EE has been out. The EE has been out since 2008, but it was reblended just last year. So repackaged, reblended. Just to further touch on what you're saying, it's an approach to the marketplace that the Levins have always believed in, which is not, necessarily flooding the market with excess product. It's getting the consumers the product that they're looking for, and then again delivering on the experience. And then what we work very hard on is working with retailers to make sure that our packaging, our branding in store, our connection with educating their employees, and then finding ways to connect with the consumer so the consumer always understands and can appreciate the quality that we're trying to put out there, because that's timeless. That doesn't go away. If you can deliver a quality product over and over and over, that doesn't go away. So, I mean, that's, again, a very basic tenet to what we believe in. And it's been successful for, what I say, Jose, 41 years. Nathia's going to kill me when he hears that. 36 years.
36, wasn't it?
36.
I wanna chime in a little bit, just because I'm looking over at Rene. Now he's smoking the EE as well, but if he'll talk, people get to see the ash. Now, at the end of the day, I'm not one of these longest ash type people. I'm really not. But what I can tell you is that when you look at his ash, it speaks to the construction of the cigar. I'm sure he's enjoying it. Maybe you can tell us what your opinion is on it, Rene.
Yeah, Rene, unmute yourself and let us know. We want to see that ash as well.
Yeah, I've been holding it up, trying to keep it going, and it's awesome construction as always from Ashton. And this one, like last time I saw Jose, he told me that it's been reblended. I had the original EE, and this is my first time smoking this one. It's great. I feel like it got a little bit of a strength boost. It definitely feels more full than it did before. And the taste is great. It's got a lot of cedar, some earth, even like a little bit of like some fruity flavors. I love it.
So Rene, when the original Edición Especial came out, again, produced by my father in Esteli, and it was kind of the mildest out of the group, right? When EE was introduced, there was just baseline La Aroma de Cuba and Edición Especial, and one was definitely, milder to the other. And when you first, lit that cigar up, you're like, oh, it was wonderful. But for what the consumer was looking for in that moment in time, it wasn't necessarily what the consumer was looking for in that moment in time. And the reason that what I mean that is the new blend that you're smoking now, that's been out for I guess a year and a half now, is definitely more in line with what today's consumer is looking for in smoking. It's a beefed up blend. It's a little bit richer in body. And again, to use the proof is in the pudding. The consumers are enjoying it and buying a lot of it. So I'm glad you picked up on that. It's not the first time you've smoked it, I assume.
No, just since it's been reblended, but I'm loving it.
Okay.
The draw is perfect
Good.
too. Excellent draw.
I'm glad
Good.
you liked.
I still haven't tried it, so that's on my to-do list as well.
Jose, we should have gotten all these cigars before we even started today.
Well, to be fair, he did send them, and I did send them to Mari and Rene as well, just so they could smoke. But I knew I would be home, so I wouldn't be able to smoke. But I will. I promise. It's on my list.
We'll change that very, very soon.
Good. I want to try that.
That just means we have to do a follow-up so that we can actually talk about the cigar and what you think about it.
Yeah, no, I'm down for that. Man, I'm telling you, that La Aroma de Cuba, the first one that I had, because I have never had the EE even before getting reblended. And that was my favorite cigar all around. I remember I told Mari, I'm there taking off the band. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And she says, really, that's the first cigar that you love? It's crazy because usually this is a favorite cigar that people have once they've been smoking for a while. And I'm like, no, it's literally that La Aroma de Cuba that introduced me to cigars and that got me to actually love cigars. Because I remember I used to smoke with friends and I'd be like, man, I hate this. And I have to pretend I really don't like smoking. When am I going to like smoking? And I ended up working for Neptune and I said, man, I still don't like smoking. And I tried that La Aroma de Cuba and I was like, oh, I understand cigars now.
That's awesome.
You certainly are translating it to your consumers because, you know, Neptune does a fantastic.
Uh-oh.
Is it? It's him. It's not us.
Yes, Andy's a little frozen. But don't worry, I'll ask you another question because I have quite the list. I wanted to ask you how many lines are in the Ashton portfolio, because I know you guys have the cabinet, you guys have the VSG, Symmetry.
Well, if we stay strictly with Ashton itself, you're looking at 7 different blends. So, you know, you have the classic and the Maduro, which to me those are our more medium more mild. They're more mild. And then you can get into the medium realm with the Heritage and the Cabinet. Then you also get into like the VSG with the more full body. You also get the ESG and the Symmetry as well. So there's 7 blends within Ashton. Now, with La Aroma de Cuba, we have 5 different blends. And San Cristobal has 5 different blends as well.
Nice. So then for Ashton, as just Ashton the brand, you have the classic kind of at the mild and Symmetry over at the most full.
Yes.
That's not bad. That's 7 blends for Ashton and 5 for La Aroma de Cuba, 5 for San Cristobal. Good amount of lines, good amount of blends.
Yeah, if I could interject again real quick, in terms of the portfolio, I include our small cigars, Jose. So I always count 8. So I include our Señoritas and Cigarillos and half Coronas, but him and I can talk about the portfolio another time privately. But when you look at the portfolio, the one thing, you talk about the 7 different lines, and you mentioned, the Ashton Classic being milder, all the way up to, Symmetry, VSG, ESG. And that's this, our number 1 selling line is Ashton Classic. It's what, that's our bread and butter. That's the foundation for our Dominican brands. That's it's a top 5 brand, nationwide every single year. So, you look at a lot of consumers and they might say, oh, Ashton's a mild product when truly VSG, Symmetry, ESG, these are fuller bodied offerings within the portfolio. So, to go back to, a point that I made kind of initially too, is that within the portfolio, it's a very diverse product offering, something for everybody. Whether you're looking for top quality Connecticut shade, you're looking for the best Maduro coming out of the Dominican Republic, you want to know what natural fermentation, there's just so many different ways, things that you can enjoy the product. And Symmetry, as I mentioned earlier, gave us a whole nother opportunity to connect with the consumer. So,
and
Jose.
One of the beautiful things, so we do have 8 blends, but one of the beautiful things about the Maduro, and that's one of the cigars that I really gravitate to in the mornings, because it is more of a mild to medium. It does approach that medium side, but it's not a strong Maduro, where in the marketplace today, the Maduros tend to be very strong. And people have almost allowed themselves to believe that Maduro means strength, whereas Maduro is a process in which the leaf is brought to maturation. And that particular Maduro is a very traditional, milder, cigar. So I always like to share that one with people.
Definitely. I think especially a lot of people that are kind of new to smoking cigars will always assume that the darker wrappers mean more strength. Whereas, a lot of people don't realize that. I mean, in my case, I didn't like the Connecticut's a lot when I first started smoking because they were so bitter. And I thought that the Maduros always packed a little bit more flavor to them, weren't as bitter. So it's crazy how people kind of always have that misconception at first. And I also wanted to ask you guys, so I remember a long time ago, it had to have been like years, Luz told me about the VSG and she was like, do you have any idea how special the VSG was? And I don't remember. She told me the story. Forgive me, Luz. Forgive me, everybody, but I forgot. However, I do know that the VSG was very special and very different from all the other blends. And I want to ask you guys why.
Well, I want to jump in here because I'm going to forgive Luz. It's not that it was special. It still remains to be a very special cigar. And one of the unique things about it is that when we introduced it, first and foremost, VSG stands for Virgin Sun Grown. Now, the reason that it was virgin is because at the time, most of the cigars were blended, either Connecticut shade or they were Maduros. So the sun grown portion was kind of, it was new. And then on top of that, the Sumatra wrapper had not really been used in a cigar that reached the masses and was popularized. And so we were the first in many ways. But I'll tell you, I've had my experience with VSG once it was mature and established in the marketplace. I'll let Andy tell you because he had his experience more or less, when it was introduced. So he got it right from the very beginning.
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head, Jose, in terms of, in that moment in time, in that snapshot, the product that the consumers were looking for at that time was very different than what they're looking for now. And it's really not hyperbole. It's the truth. VSG is one of those trend-setting products that really changed and altered or helped usher in, different flavor profiles for what was available for the consumer. As Jose said, Dominican filler, Dominican binders, Ecuadorian Sumatras, sun-grown, very powerful, very rich. But it was a cigar that you could recognize the complexity and the beauty of what a well-blended with great tobacco, the mastery of the Fuentes. And when that all is put together, just because something is strong doesn't mean it puts everybody off. You can put that cigar in anybody's hand. It's so well balanced. It's so well blended. The complexity is just, again, always so amazing that, again, proof of concept. Now we're 22 years into it. The cigar originally came out in 1999. And despite the fact that since it was introduced, that market has become way more crowded. There's a lot more products that have entered in, maybe still around, more than likely not. Our VSG sales continue to steadily climb year after year after year, because again, it's a product that is a known commodity. It's a known product that the consumer recognizes for being high quality, for being something that they can always go back to. And again, 22 years later, if you want to, Roxy, if you want to talk about company, at the time in 1999, we had Ashton Classic, we had Ashton Cabinet, Ashton Age Maduro. We were in the second year of our outside sales force that started in 1997. So we were doing good things, but VSG was so unique and so different to the marketplace that it immediately elevated the stature in the consumer's eyes of all the rest of our brands. So it took the Ashton branding from being a good brand to really being great, because now consumers are coming looking for VSG, but that gives the retailer the opportunity to have them explore, Ashton Cabinet or Ashton Age Maduro, introduce them to different products under the flagship that they might not have before. Very similar to in our Nicaraguan portfolio. Sorry, I'm going to switch gears a little bit. We've talked about La Aroma de Cuba, Baseline, and Edición Especial. When Mi Amor came out, is everybody familiar with Mi Amor? When the Garcias produced Mi Amor for us, it's Nicaraguan filler binder, and that's Mexican San Andreas. And at the time, it wasn't really, being produced in large scale for the marketplace. And the Garcia said, when it's done right, when you produce it right, this is what it's supposed to be like. And it was so sexy. It was so unique. It's like eating an almond joy. Like, it was so beautiful that, again, it took La Aroma de Cuba from a branding standpoint and really just elevated it. And now people were, exploring Baseline, and then the EE that was on the marketplace, and it elevated. So very important product. VSG is an extremely important product, not just for Ashton, but really for the industry as a whole. Without me, being too biased.
Yeah, right. You're allowed to be biased. It sounds like VSG was like one of the original sun-growns that were out there in a time when it was just between Connecticut and Maduro, and Ashton was like, we got sun-grown in the mix.
I have the poster right in front of me. That was our original ad that we ran in, one of the original ads that we ran in Aficionado, that has a leather chair. I think it was on our Ashton Instagram recently, but it has a leather chair on one side, and then the VSG torpedoes on the other side, and it says, "Morning, please be seated before smoking." Right now, at the time, I hear consumers say to me all the time, the blend has changed. It's not as strong as it used to be. It's changed. That's bullshit. Excuse my French. Nothing has changed with it. The consumers, what's out there in terms of strength has changed. It's the same thing that it was. But again, in 1999, please be seated before smoking. I don't necessarily, there's more consumers out there familiar with full-bodied stuff, but it's a great product. It continues to be, a cornerstone of what we do as a business.
So it took Ashton from being not only a good one to a great company.
Yeah, it elevated it. Stash. Yeah. Hey, Rene.
Hey, no, I just wanted to add, because you guys brought up the Mi Amor, and to me, that's my personal favorite Ashton. I love the VSG as well, but it seems to be a lot of other people's favorite too. I feel like we sell the Mi Amor Belicoso more than any other Ashton, particularly in that size. And it's a great cigar. It's probably the most well-balanced Ashton that exists.
Well,
yeah. Go ahead, Jose.
I was just gonna say, it definitely is one of our cigars that's better known, more smoke, because it was #2 cigar of the year at one point. I believe it's 2013. Again, the years start to run together for me here, so forgive me if I'm off by a year or two, but it's 96 rating, great Nicaraguan tobacco. It's got that San Andreas Maduro wrapper, which again was another really another moment when as a company we used the San Andreas wrapper when a lot of people were kind of shying away from Mexican wrappers or tobacco in general, and we got it out there. It got #2 cigar of the year. It got a 96 rating. It became very popular, and then you saw a lot of other companies start to follow suit. So it definitely is a cigar that I think merits everything you said.
Jose, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that on all of our company websites, AshtonCigar.com, LaRomaDeCubaCigars.com, SanCristobalCigars.com, which are all just information-based sites. All the ratings that Jose was talking about for Mi Amor, for Revelation, for ESG, VSG, there's a rating section on there. So if anybody out there is interested in that, again, that's just our cigar name. You can log in there anytime and check them out.
Definitely. And La Roma de Cuba, Mi Amor, I know for a fact that, I mean, that was the first one that I had, and Rene was there with us. I remember we were just at the dinner table eating like octopus and trying all sorts of stuff, smoking these cigars, and it was a fantastic time. And I think it was the Belicoso also that I had. And I had the Robusto after, and I was like,
again?
Man, it's not the same. Yeah, that was at that dinner. We
I
were
was
both
there.
there.
So
I was there. I think we were
when
sitting next to each other.
Yeah.
So when we introduced Mi Amor, Manny Ferraro, who was our former vice president of sales, Luz knows Manny. I assume she can hopefully, confirm or deny it in the chat over here. But Manny was our vice president of sales for a very long time, and one of the things that Manny, when we were growing the brand and building the brand, we did a lot of tastings. Manny did a ton of dinners in the marketplace. He was doing a lot of high-end tastings and whatnot. And as part of our Taste of Excellence program, I don't think Jose, you were with us yet. This was when I was still on the road. But the initial pairing that we did was with chocolate, almonds, coconut, and Zaya rum. And it wasn't, do you remember this, Rene?
Yep. Yeah. I think I've been here for quite a while, and I think I've been through about 3 of those trainings with Jose where he brings the chocolates and the nuts.
Yeah. So we had to do this, I don't say had to do it because the consumers loved it, but we would put together this plate, and on the plate you would take not dried coconut shavings, but like it's moist, and we'd put it on the plate with the chocolates, the cigar, and we would do the chocolate first, then a little Zaya taste. Then you would do the almonds because that dries out the palate, then a little Zaya taste. And then you would add in the coconut because that coats the palate a little bit. And then you fire up that Mi Amor and add a little Zaya. And, it was just, it was so much fun because it, like what you're articulating with the dinner and that experience translated into people really, really truly getting to enjoy the beauty of that Mexican San Andreas and setting themselves up for a positive experience to draw back on every time they go to buy that cigar. If they don't have the chocolate, almonds, and coconut, but hopefully the Zaya rum.
Yeah, I mean, we were out there pairing these cigars with like octopus and steak and rum and stuff. So it was a different experience, but it was still delicious.
Sure that
we
that's
were still loving them.
It was wonderful. That's right.
It's definitely not the best pairing for sure, but I mean, it worked for us. I still wrote that down. Like, I'm keeping this band. This is awesome. And then as far as the second favorite, so Jose, you had said you really liked the Ashland Symmetry. That's like at the top for you.
Well, for me, yeah. What I love about it is that you get a lot of the power from the Nicaraguan tobacco initially, but it really opens up about a little bit into it, and it gives you more of a floral Dominican essence to it, and that to me, I enjoy that medium cool range. I'm not quite a full body smoker, even though I do enjoy my full body smoke from time to time after dinner. I tend to gravitate more towards that style of cigar, and it's more, to me, the quintessential aficionado cigar. It feeds into what I ideally like to think of as a cigar.
Nice, and I know Mari's smoking that now. Mari, what can you tell us?
What else can I tell you? The cigar is amazing. Since this cigar was released, it's been one of my favorites. Jose knows that. Jose knows that I love the symmetry. Why? I like cigars with a little bit more body, you know, even if it's in the morning, my breakfast, it doesn't matter. I love them. And the cigar is so smooth that even if you haven't had breakfast, your body receives that cigar, you know, like from heaven, because it's really, really good. It's very consistent in flavor. You smoke, if you smoke the cigar a year ago when you smoke it now, it's gonna taste the same. Always burn really nice. I didn't show my nice ash, but Rene, you were not the only one with a nice ash. My cigar was burning perfect, and it's very complex because you can feel, like Jose was saying, that floral thing, that fruity thing from Dominican tobacco. Very smooth. I think it's a perfect cigar.
Those are all great reviews
Awesome.
out here. I mean, obviously we love Ashton.
We know that. We know that. I appreciate that, Marty. You know, one of the things that Roxana had put on this in terms of questions that we were going to go into is, what's my favorite Ashton? And it's a very difficult thing to pick, because, you know, as you guys have touched on it, everything's so experiential. You know, it's like, what am I going to be doing? What might I be eating? What time of day is it? You know, all of those things. Ashland Symmetry has become one, as you guys talked about, that's something that I gravitate towards, just because it's, again, so different or unique. I'm traditionally, Ashton Cabinet has been my favorite cigar, I mean, really for probably about 20 years now, because I think that it's unique in our industry, because it's a Connecticut shade. You know, we touched earlier about the visuals and how a lot of people would look at a cigar and assume because the wrapper color is a little bit lighter, that it's going to be milder. Ashton Cabinet, you know, absolutely is not. It's got a very full-bodied blend to it, but then it's the highest grading Connecticut shade that you can find anywhere in the world. So you get a little bit of that pepperiness, you get a little bit of that spice, and that creamy, nutty Connecticut shade takes over. So that's my personal favorite, but it's all, to me, it's all experiential. I've been smoking a lot of Symmetry lately, Roddy, so I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, I feel like
Looks
we
like
got
we
like
lost
2
Jose.
Aroma de
Jose?
Cuba, like 3 Symmetries. So Symmetry seems to win today.
But wait,
Jose got tired of hearing me talk, so he just, Rene,
Yeah,
Jose got
Jose's like,
tired of
I'm
hearing
going
me
on the
talk,
boat.
so he wanted to talk on the call. Yeah.
I was gonna say
Right.
there's
He's like,
there's
I'm going.
one missing player from the catalog. Can we show the ESG some love?
Absolutely. Are you're a fan of ESG?
Yes, very much
Yeah.
so.
So yeah, you know, ESG, you know, it's very difficult, Rene, by the way. I did a call, you know, a couple of months ago with a group of consumers, and it's very hard sometimes to go through every, you know, line by line, because I could literally talk for 4 hours, and you know, that becomes a little bit cumbersome. But, you know, ESG is, again, it's so unique. You know, that is a Dominican Puro. You know, the wrapper that's grown on that is grown in the sun. It's a wrapper leaf that the Fuentes use when they grow it in the shade. They use it on their Opus X. That qualifier means nothing in terms of the 2 cigars being similar. They're not. They taste extremely different. But what that implies, to make that connection, is if you're talking about quality of tobacco, if you're talking about rareness of tobacco, if you're talking about uniqueness of tobacco, dedication of Fuente of putting the best product out there on the marketplace, ESG is second to none. I like ESG. To me is like when you go to a steakhouse and eat like a big steak and potato. I mean, it's just filling. It's robust but not overbearing. It's fulfilling. And ESG. In every humidor that cigar is placed in, it's very hard pressed for there to be another cigar of greater quality. And certainly the Rene, I don't know, do you know in terms of the years and why they're coded that way in terms of the 20 and 21 and 2? Are you familiar with that?
No, I'm actually not. I've realized that they have different numbers, but I'm not sure why.
Okay, so when the cigar originally came out, Ashton was again started in 1985. So as we were coming up on our 20th anniversary, which would have been 2005, the Fuentes wanted to do something special to celebrate. So they came up, in conjunction, obviously, with Robbie and Sathya, the idea of the Ashton ESG, and the idea being for one size to come out every year for 5 years, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, with every year being a unique size. I think the original production was supposed to be something like 50,000 cigars per year, which is obviously very, very, that's not a lot of cigars when you look at the breadth of distribution that we have. But so that's what you have. The 20 is a Churchill, the 21's a Robusto, the 22 is a Torpedo, the 23 is the Toro, the 24 is kind of like a smaller Salomon, about a 48 ring gauge, which, by the way, is a press that the Fuentes have never used on any other product other than that cigar. That was the first time it was ever used. So,
That's awesome.
So even within the rareness of the tobacco, the uniqueness of the tobacco, the quality, the level that cigar's at, every one of them smokes a little bit different, right? If you smoke the 21 and you're like, not quite my size, and you pick up the 22, you'll notice some specific differences, which is beautiful. It's great to have that. That's the creme de la creme, and that everything else can
Indeed,
follow.
it is. No, and the same thing happens. I notice a lot of people that come to the shop, if they don't already know about the cigar, they kind of see the price and they might hesitate a bit. And I just put it in their hand anyway, and I say, look, you can thank me later.
Yeah. Well, hey, I'll thank you later too, Rene. I appreciate that. That's awesome. But the truth is, if you have a consumer looking for quality, that's exactly what that cigar is, and you're never going to go wrong. So thank you for selling them.
My pleasure.
And to the consumer buying them.
No negative
thankfully.
reviews yet.
Yeah, I think Jose fell off the side of the boat apparently. So
He's going for a swim, but this has been super educational, honestly. We learned so much today.
My man, Jose. What else? You got a couple other questions on here, Roxana, before we...
Yes. So, okay, I asked you what your favorite was.
There he is.
And we also asked, what would be... He's back on? And the shirt's dry, so you're good.
Still no boat tie.
Yeah, you didn't go for a swim.
No, I was hoping that I start my weekend a little early. I'm kidding, but just some technical difficulties here.
It's all right. Welcome back.
You're good. Let me just go through some of these. So we talked about the favorites and also like what lines you would recommend someone start off with if they're unfamiliar. Would you start off with just recommending the classic lines, since as you said, that's the bread and butter? Or would you recommend someone that's starting off kind of go hard or go home? ESG, VSD, Symmetry.
That's I think that the answer to the question is like very situational. It would depend, I would, and Jose, I mean, you guys deal directly with the consumer far more often than I do. But obviously there's qualifiers. You know, what are they looking to smoke? What are their past experience? What do they like? What do they don't like? You know, the beauty of Ashton, La Roma, and San Cristobal is the way that the brand is built is no matter what that consumer is, we truly do have something for them, whether it's that they're looking for, you know, something from a pricing standpoint or a flavor profile standpoint, there's something for everybody. So, you know, again, it's what experience they're looking for. It's what experience that they have. And it's, you know, what they're going to do with it. And I think that all changes what I would recommend to somebody. You know, one of these things on here is what is our #1 selling cigar? And our #1 selling product is Ashton Classic, hands down. Dominican filler, Dominican binder. That's Connecticut grown, Connecticut shade, which obviously everybody recognizes. Again, is our commitment to still providing a high quality product, despite the fact that Connecticut shade is expensive. It provides a unique consumer experience that is, you know, that we want them to continue to attach to. But when you look at Ashton Classic, it's our #1 seller by far. But despite the fact that I just saw the question over here. I got it, Luz. I got to finish my thought. At my age, if I go from thought to thought, I forget where I'm going. But Ashton Classic, despite the fact that, you know, your average consumer may have gravitated towards, you know, maybe a fuller flavored experience, Ashton Classic still sells 2 to 1 over, you know, our next best, because it's recognized quality, it's recognized consistency, and you can give that cigar to anybody. You know, you're going to play golf with 3 of your buddies, and you don't know what everybody smokes. You're like, okay, well, everybody's going to be happy with that product. And so, you know, that's my 2 cents there. No, Jose Luz did not get hired because of his bow tie. The bow tie was something that Jose put into play really about 2 years after he started with us. Jose was full tie, and then, you know, Jose decided to go bow tie, and he has developed, obviously very appropriately, the persona of Bowtie Ortega. The guy's got more followers on Instagram than the rest of our sales group combined. So obviously he looks great in a bow tie, and that's that. But no, he developed that a couple of years after joining us. Is that right, Jose? About 2 years? You can.
Yeah. It was about 2 years in, and it was about standing out. Really, the practicality. You know, with the job, you were asking me what I do, you know, for Ashton. So when I started, I noticed that we do a lot of events. I'm carrying a lot of boxes. I actually had one of my ties dangle and get stuck between 2 boxes that I was carrying. And when I was putting them down, it pulled on my neck, and it was annoying. The bow ties, they stay out of the way. They're very elegant. People started to recognize me by it, and it really just makes sense. And I it's become my thing now, and I love them.
That's the Ashton
He's never
effect.
told me that. Yeah, he's never told me that tie getting caught in boxes thing. I think that's either way, whatever happened, we love it.
Yeah, Lou says that. Okay, so the bow tie was after a near-death experience. Got it.
Possibly.
So you guys do quite a lot then, and you have a big team. I wanted to ask you also about the team. How big is Ashton? Do you guys conduct business internationally? How many reps do you have? Like, how realistically big is this company?
Well, so we do business with our brands in 65 countries throughout the world. Obviously, you guys are familiar with Ashton, La Roma, Cuba, and San Cristobal on the domestic market. Ashton is the same no matter where you go, anywhere in the world. La Aroma de Cuba, obviously because of trademark. Throughout the rest of the country, the rest of the world is La Aroma del Caribe. And then San Cristobal is under Paradiso. So if you're ever traveling outside of the US, you know, the imaging's all the same, everything's all the same, just in the blends and the products are all the same. But outside of that, the distribution is Paradiso and La Aroma del Caribe. Here in the US, we have 16 sales reps in the marketplace from New England all the way to the West Coast. In Florida, where you guys are, Jose is your East Coast sales rep. We have another young man, Jeremy Harding, who works over on the West Coast of the state. We have 6 people here in-house that handle all your customer service needs. And then, internationally is handled primarily by Mira Levin, who is Robbie Levin's daughter. She handles most of our international affairs. But that's about it. So 16 reps nationwide, 6 in-house. That would bring it to about 22 people that are dedicated to, making sure that the retailer experience is high quality also.
Yeah, that sounds kind of like a small team for 65 countries. So you guys are definitely doing something right, huh? Staying focused.
Yeah, I mean, we hope so. We hope so. We can always look internally and see things that we're not doing great. The beauty of working for a family-owned business of our size is that when the market changes or the market presents us with something that we have to address, we're very agile. And, no greater example of that was within this past year with everything that's happened in the US and the world. And we had our best year in the marketplace ever last year. 2021 is starting off strong as well. But, when you talk about, with that question, we're a tight group. Decisions can be made very quickly. We can maneuver in the marketplace and address anything that comes up very quickly, and that gives us a considerable advantage. We feel, and certainly have we seen in the marketplace. Jose wants to talk now. Jose.
I just was going to say we wear a lot of hats, and everybody cares. I think that's the big thing. As far as myself and my team, in the sense of my colleagues, my coworkers, I feel like we all care. We all try to make sure that we're doing our part to pick up the slack where we need to, where we just don't let the balls fall. We're juggling them and we keep them up in the air.
You guys are definitely doing a good job out there. I'm telling you, I thought that the Ashton team would be way bigger, but it makes sense if you have a lot of different roles assigned to just one person. But I wanted to ask you the last question of the day, and that is, Andy, Jose, what would you like to tell Neptune customers?
Jose, you can go first.
I think for me, just in general, there's not a bad cigar. There's a cigar that you haven't smoked. There's the cigar that you like, and then there's a cigar that you don't. We definitely have cigars for everybody. So I welcome you. I challenge you to try them. I can assure you, you can't tell me that they're a bad cigar. It may not be the cigar for you, but definitely they're good cigars. Lots of quality, and there's different price points, as Andy highlighted. So I say, let's enjoy them. Let's try them. And if you catch me at a Neptune store, please, by all means, stop me. Let's talk about the cigars. Let's even enjoy one together so that we can, fellowship. That's what I enjoy about the cigar industry. It's the fellowship, the sitting down, having a conversation, sharing with people. I've made more friends in the last 10 years through cigars than I've made in my entire life through any other means. and they're real friends. They're people that you can actually have real conversations with, intelligent people. That's the one thing that you find in the cigar industry. Very intelligent, very knowledgeable people, and that I appreciate.
I would just simply say probably the same thing that I would say to most consumers, and it's the dead horse that I'm going to continue to beat, because we do it all the time, is that, Neptune has created a very high quality, consumer centric approach to the marketplace, whether it be in your stores, whether it be with your staff, whether it be your online presence. You guys, Luz and Chris have done a phenomenal job of making sure that your branding is top notch and is fresh. And that's, again, from a partnership to what we do in the marketplace. We're going to continue, literally nonstop, making sure that our brands are what you expect them to be every time you buy them, making them available wherever it is that you buy them, making sure that Luz and the crew has what they need to sell our cigars. And we're going to continue to do our part so that your experience is the best experience possible. And, we have a very broad portfolio, and just, keep enjoying them. We appreciate all the business, and we certainly appreciate, Neptune putting those products in place for the consumer to be able to enjoy. So on all levels, thank you. And again, we're going to continue to do our part. This isn't something that we take lightly. We take every purchase very, very, very much to heart. We appreciate every dollar that everybody spends on Ashton Cigars, La Aroma de Cuba, San Cristobal, and we consider it our duty to do our part too. So that's all I would add.
Definitely. And we have quite the big Ashland portfolio that we sell both online and in stores. So we definitely encourage people to go out and try, read up on these. And this entire meeting was very informational about all of the lines, essentially. So people that watch this can definitely take away some knowledge and go ahead and purchase some cigars and try them. I mean, we sell by the box, we sell by the single. So it's a nice opportunity that customers have to try a bunch of different singles, try a bunch of different lines, and definitely they'll find something that works for them, since these portfolio is like, it has something for everyone. It's a huge portfolio, really. 7 lines, 5 here, 5 there.
And I would like to highlight
hold on, time out. Jose, hold on. 8, 5, and 5.
8, my bad, man. I shouldn't have listened to Jose, man. You see, I'm here like 7. I'm forgetting the senoritas and the mini Coronas, top Coronas and stuff.
Yeah,
Sorry, Jose.
I misled you there for a second, Roxy, but thank God we have Andy around. But I will tell you, one of the beautiful things that's going on now as well, that I wanted to just let the Neptune following know, is that in the month of March, we're going to be running some promotional deals with the Ashland. So it's going to be the moment when the consumer gets to benefit the most from their purchase with Ashton. And I hope that they will reach out to the stores and take advantage of some of the deals so that they can enjoy the cigars and receive the value. That I think is a great opportunity. And I just wanted to bring that up, that we will be doing that promotion this month.
Some March Madness with Ashton for the month.
Yeah, the best opportunity at the retail level that you're ever going to be able to buy our cigars is buying in Neptune's locations this month. It's the best opportunity, best deals you're ever going to get on Ashton Cigars. So
that's good. That's what we like to hear for the Neptune customers.
Yeah, Jose, are you giving away an Ashton Humidor?
Yes, we are. It's $1,000.
It's like a $2,000 piece. Vintage.
Beautiful.
Never again produced. They're beautiful.
Well, we're going to see, because that's an in-store promotion that we're going to be announcing soon. So our customers definitely should stay tuned. But thank you guys so much. This has been very educational. We've learned a lot. Thank you so much, Andy. Thank you, Jose. Thanks, Mari and Rene and Luz for tuning in. Mari and Rene for smoking and being able to provide us with those reviews, those live reviews.
Thank
Alrighty,
you.
guys.
Thanks for the opportunity. Thank you for the opportunity to talk about our cigars today. We really appreciate it. Thanks.
Definitely, anytime.
Enjoy
you.
your weekend.
Thank you for everything. Thank you for the smoke too.
Got it.
Thanks for the